People used to always ask me, they would say, imagine how bad Southern Cal or Lincoln Riley would be if you didn't have Heisman quarterbacks and top 10 offenses every single year. Well, now we know. Now we know how bad they would be. Holy shit, they can't get a first down against Michigan. They can't throw the ball. This is alarming. They can't throw the ball. They can't block. They can't run. I'm talking offense here. Offense. I mean, look, I've spent 7-8 years now shitting on Lincoln Riley and how he doesn't care about defense, and we'll get to that part of the first half in a minute. But you've never had anything, nobody's ever had anything negative to say about him offensively. He's replaced his Heisman caliber QBs with another Heisman caliber QB over and over and over again since 2016, really. And there was no reason to think that would stop. Well, I'm here to tell you, it stopped. And I can't put this all on number 7. Look, here's Southern Cal. Put the fucking names on the back of the jerseys. I know Miller Moss is your quarterback. I know the wide receiver Branch, okay? I watch a lot of college football, but I'm not an expert. I don't have every player on Southern Cal memorized by number. It's retarded that we're in 2024 and you dumbasses won't put these players' names on the back of the jerseys. So I know the quarterback is Miller Moss. I know a few of the other players. I know Bear Alexander. I'm not referring to any Southern Cal players by their name. Southern Cal doesn't give a fuck if we know their name, or else they would put the names on the back of the jerseys. So I'm not going to go out of my way to say their names. So it's not all QB number 7's fault. The offensive line cannot block Michigan at all. Southern Cal's left tackle is so bad, he would struggle to get playing time at Florida State. And their offensive line doesn't exist. So their offense is atrocious and zero run game. I'm not a stats guy. I watch the game and try to form conclusions. But for those of you that are into that kind of thing, I guess I can pull it up. But where is it? Here we go. Southern Cal, 8 yards rushing. 8. What the fuck? No, I'm sorry. -16. That's 8 carries. 8 carries, -16 yards. Now, in college football, sack yardage goes against your rushing total, right? So let's give them a break, because that's taking away a lot of the rush yards, right? All right. Their running backs have 6 carries for 5 yards. Their running backs are averaging less than 1 yard per carry. Now, I know Michigan's got a good defense, but Texas ran all over them and threw all over them. Western Michigan last week? Went up and down the field more than what Southern Cal is doing. So now we know the answer. What would a Lincoln Riley team look like if it didn't have an amazing offense with a Heisman caliber QB to save it every year? It would look like absolute putrid fucking poop is what it would look like. Now on to the defense. It's not any better. Michigan has benched Warren and is playing Alec Orji. That's telling you right there we're not going to throw the ball. We're going to be completely one-dimensional. We might throw a few swing passes, and I'll even give Michigan some credit. It's looked dumb when they've done it, but they're trying. Like, they're running flea flickers. They're running, like, halfback passes, reverses. Like, they're literally trying everything here because they've got no traditional passing game. And they're running it down Southern Cal's throat. Like, Southern Cal knows they're going to run it. Michigan knows Southern Cal knows, and Michigan doesn't care. They run it anyway, 30, 40 yards without being touched. Here we go again. Players out of position, missing tackles, getting bullied and big boyed along the line of scrimmage. So whatever pipe dream Southern Cal fans were trying to sell us about their defense being better this year appears to be down the drain, because their defense is getting humiliated by one of the worst offenses in the Power 4. I'm not here to shit on Michigan. They're winning 14-3. Good on them. But let's be right. Look, Michigan fans, you like your offense? I know you like that you're winning this game, but come on. Michigan's offense is horrendous. And there's nothing Southern Cal can do to stop it defensively. This is bad for Southern Cal. Welcome to the Big Ten, where every week you get to play Utah, basically. Now, there's obviously some teams in the Big Ten that are better and more talented than Utah. But what I mean is the Pac-12 for years was considered a finesse league. Right, wrong, or indifferent. And yes, you can point out teams in this year and that year and blah, blah, blah. So, but I'm just telling you what the sort of reputation was. And the Big Ten was considered like a line of scrimmage league, right? Well, Utah, in the Pac-12, now in the Big 12, but in the Pac-12, played like a Big Ten team. Discipline, good lines of scrimmage. And what happened every time Lincoln Riley at Southern Cal played Utah? He lost every time. Lincoln Riley 0-3 versus Utah at Southern Cal. And now you show up in Ann Arbor, a Michigan team that is in complete and total give-up mode, and you can barely get a fucking first down. And this number 7, and again, I know his name, and I'm not going to say it because Southern Cal doesn't care enough to put the names of their players on the back of the jerseys so that we can know who we're looking at. So, it's Miller Moss, but I don't give a shit. I'm not going to say his name. It's QB7. He's running for his life every time he drops back to throw. And Southern Cal has like the opposite problem that Michigan has. Southern Cal can't run the ball, so they have to throw it. Michigan can't throw the ball, so they have to run it. Difference is Michigan's able to run it. Southern Cal not able to throw it. Too much pressure on QB7. So this game, unless something drastic happens in the second half, Michigan, I expect a second half to go pretty much exactly like the first half went, which is going to leave us with a final score somewhere around 28-10, 28-13, 28-17, something like that. Southern Cal is bad, and they're awful too. We're also watching Georgia Tech and Louisville. Georgia Tech scored right at the end of the first half, so we got a game there, 17-14 halftime at that one. Not a lot of scoring. Arkansas and Auburn over here on the third TV. Arkansas up 7-0 in that one. Arkansas is a one-man team. Every time I look up and Arkansas has the ball, it's 2nd and 12, and their quarterback is running for 14 yards. It's unbelievable, and Auburn can't do anything about it. 7-0 Arkansas, the Woo Pig Dummies, up over the Barn. The Barn, of course, has also made a quarterback change, just like Michigan did. The Barn has sat Peyton Thorne down, and they have decided to start this NPC, what they have decided to label as Hank Brown. Literally the most generic name anyone has ever thought of in the history of mankind. So I don't know who this guy is. It's got to be an NPC. He's got to be an NPC. Hank Brown? Come on, man. Hank Brown. So Auburn's losing at home 7-0. Let's check on the Virginia Tech Rutgers game. I don't know why Virginia Tech was favored over Rutgers, and I said that don't seem right. Rutgers is a better team. I actually bet on Rutgers to win outright. I didn't even take the points, and they were winning. Let's see if they're still winning. Well, let's just highlight some of the other scores for you. So West Virginia has come back to make it a 3-point game. There was a weather delay there. Kansas 28, West Virginia 25. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We'll see what happens. West Virginia's got the ball down 3. Where are we at here? Penn State up 28-0 at halftime over Kent State. There's the Southern Cal, Michigan. LSU struggling with UCLA, 17-10, 20 seconds to go until halftime there. That game's at LSU. Notre Dame 14-3 at halftime over Miami of Ohio. They were losing 3-0 for most of the first half. I don't know what the deal is with Notre Dame and MAC teams, but look here, Notre Dame, you can't just go on the road and play at Purdue every week. Eventually, you got to play a MAC team at home, and I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know what you're doing. But until you join a conference, you're going to continue to not matter. You've fallen into irrelevancy. No one cares about Notre Dame anymore. No one takes you serious. You're never a contender for anything meaningful. And you just honestly just don't matter anymore in the world of college football. And until you join a conference, you're not gonna. Doesn't matter how many service academies you beat. Doesn't matter that you go on the road and beat Purdue. Doesn't matter that you beat up on Stanford. You can play every service academy twice. It's not gonna matter. There's a reason you haven't won anything in 35 fucking years. You haven't won a major postseason game since 1992. Forget a national title, which you haven't won since 1988. You haven't even won a major postseason game in over 30 years. You're just an irrelevant program. Join a conference. You're no better than anybody else. In fact, the argument can be made you're much worse off. 17-14, Louisville up over Georgia Tech, like we mentioned. 7-0 Arkansas over Auburn. Halftime, Rutgers 16, Virginia Tech 7. So not a lot I got right today. I was on Southern Cal to beat Michigan. So I'm wrong there, obviously. I'm going to lose that pick. I took Southern Cal to win that one. That's obviously not going to happen. But some of these I'm getting right. I was on Rutgers. Looks like they're winning right now, 16-7 at halftime. They're up over Virginia Tech. The Vanderbilt-Missouri game was another interesting one. But Memphis is losing to Navy. Boy, good thing Florida State didn't schedule Navy. Who's Florida State losing to today? Cal? They play that game tonight. Patreon stream tonight at 7:30, by the way, for the Tennessee-Oklahoma game and all of the primetime games. The Patreon link is in the description of this video. For those of you that don't know how Patreon works, Patreon is a page similar to Facebook in a way, except I'm the only one that can post on my Patreon page. So if you click my Patreon link in the description, it'll take you to my Patreon page, and you'll see posts that I've made there. At around 7:15, I will make a post on my Patreon page that says Week 4 Patreon stream. All you do is click that link, and it will take you to the primetime stream. It's that easy. It's $10 a month for Patreon. Go check it out. The link is in the description. We're going to stream all the primetime games. Utah, without Cam Rising, up on Oklahoma State 10-3. A lot of back and forth about whether Rising was going to play or not. He is not playing. Yeah, Vanderbilt is beating Missouri with 4:23 to go in the second quarter. Vanderbilt 10, Missouri 7. Those 4 or 5 Missouri fans that keep telling me I'm retarded because I keep saying I don't think Mizzou's a top 10 team. In fact, I don't even think they're a top 12 team. They're borderline top 15. It's my words. They're borderline top 15-ish. And they may sneak into the playoffs as a result of an easy schedule. And they're just dogpiling on me. Oh, Missouri's the greatest thing ever. Missouri's dog shit, my dude. They fucking suck. They're terrible. And these 4 or 5 Missouri fans that have reconnected their Wi-Fi after God knows how long y'all been hit out, not showing your face around. Now you got something to say to Uncle Lou? How about get a lead over Vanderbilt and until then shut the fuck up? How about that? How about you do that? Any other games anybody cares about? No. The rest of them come on tonight. Miami comes on tonight. We'll do that on. We'll be watching that one over on the Patreon. What else? Cal and Florida State comes on tonight. That'll be over on Patreon. But of course, Tennessee, Oklahoma is tonight. Texas A&M plays tonight. South Carolina plays tonight. Iowa and Minnesota. Texas, the Arch Manning Show tonight. All of these games will be streamed on Patreon. These are all the primetime games. Colorado and Baylor. All right, Missouri fans, kiss my ass. Lincoln Riley got no defense. Southern Cal fans, when are y'all going to come to the realization that you were wrong and the rest of the known world was right? Lincoln Riley don't give a fuck about defense, man, and y'all ain't never going to have a good one.